Hello, good morning, you guys. Good morning. I am sorry that I am a little late. I know I originally scheduled it for 10, but I have a 12 o'clock appointment that I have to actually drive to. So I was like, let me get myself together ready to go to work. I hope everybody is doing okay today. Today is Wednesday. So we have 2 more days left of this traditional work week. I am starving, you guys. So I'm trying to decide whether I'm gonna eat something before I go into this appointment or if I'm gonna eat something after. So just in case I stop along the way, y'all know that that's what I'm doing. I made a executive decision. Um, but I wanted to come and talk to you guys today. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Let me see. Hold on, I'm about to roll the window up, you guys. I just had to roll it down initially because I had just got in here and it was hot. And my hair is looking like Jacqueline Smith and Charlie's Angels right now. It was all over the place. So I had to get some of this. I was about to start sweating. I hate to sweat. I hate sweat. So I had to roll the window down when I got in the car to let some of the heat out of it, and so that the AC could start functioning not functioning properly because it's going to function properly anyway, but so it can start to kick in before it starts to kick in, after you start the car. So I wanted to come. Hey Ty, hey Boo. I wanted to come and talk to you guys while I'm on my way to my appointment to about Chrisean and Blueface, and Chrisean did a Danza Project interview. And so I listened to a lot of the interview. I still have to listen to like the last few minutes, but I listened to a lot of what she was trying to convey in that Danza Project interview. So we know we saw her over there with Blueface, and then we saw the next day. I guess they had, I don't know what she didn't discuss in the Danza Project interview, like what in all about the interactions that she had with Blueface when she went to go meet with him. But what it appeared to people is like she had stayed overnight. She was joining back into the circus. And, it was a lot of disappointment from people who were cheering her on, right? I think it's a difference between those people who are like rocked out. Like, and when I mean that, I mean like they will find ways to excuse and justify whatever she does. They will make all types of excuses, nothing she's done wrong. They'll make justifications for things. And then you have people who are just looking and observing the situation and saying what they see, right? I would call myself one of those people because I'm not going to support her doing no any and every kind of thing. I didn't support a lot of the things that she had going on when she was on the Bad Girls Club. I didn't support a lot of the things that she had going on when she was doing that crazy in love with Blueface. And even after that. And so, but when I see somebody trying to do better, and I was saying this yesterday, especially when I see, like, I know that they came from a challenging place. And what I mean by that is like their childhood experience, right? A lot of times for those of us, like I said, who did not have to go through as much trauma growing up because we had good families that allow us to have a childhood experience, sometimes it causes us to be overly judgmental towards others because we think that everybody had the same kind of upbringing that we did. We will assume that this is just what parents do. Parents take care of kids. Parents feed their kids. Parents make sure no harm comes to their kids. They enroll them in extracurricular activities. They make sure that they have all the necessities, the things that they need. They make sure that they have some of the things that they want. They make sure that they invest in their education and all of these things. And so we assume a lot of times for those of us who have that and had that, we assume that that is everybody's childhood experience. And unfortunately, that is not everybody's childhood experience. And as a result, this is why there are some people, I always say this. I think that there's a small population of people who end up being wayward because it's just was destined, like in life, for them to do it. Like no matter what type of environment they would have been given, they would have gone so far to the left from how they were raised, right? I think that's a very small population of people, right? Maybe I can liken that to like the 1%, like the 1% that they say is the wealthy 1%, the 1% that they say that like control the world or whatever. Like maybe I want to say like if I was to give a percentage to the population of people who I think that no matter what type of system or environment they were born into, somehow they would end up doing evil deeds. I would say maybe 1%, right? But most of us, it is because of our environment, it is because of our upbringing. um so that's nurture, right? So nature, I think, sometimes produces evil, right? Some people just come out evil, right? That's nature. But nurture, I think, or the lack of proper nurturing, I think, is what causes some other people to go astray and go wayward. That's the majority of people who end up in that situation, right? And so, because of that, I give a lot of grace to a lot of people because I don't know what an experience would be like if I had to grow up in a crack addicted family, or whatever, heroin addicted, whatever the drug of choice was. I don't know how I would be if I grew up and a bunch of alcoholics had to raise me. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't functional, because I don't want to take it away from some people. There are some people who grew up in families with addicts that were functional, and they don't even realize that something was going on until one day something bad happens, health wise or something like that. But I don't know what that is like because I don't come from that experience. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is like to have a mother who is so desperate in order to be able to feed her family that she is willing to sell herself or possibly sell her own children. You know, I don't I don't know anything about those kind of experiences. And so when I meet people who have had experiences like that, I have more grace for them in their situation. So looking at Chrisean and knowing what kind of family background that she has, when I saw her trying to do something better, I encouraged that. And I wanted to speak a good word onto that type of her life. So you can always make a choice to turn around and do something different, right? And so she's been doing good. And I think the disappointment that people had publicly seeing her back over there with Blueface is that they know how easy it is to for that to turn around. I don't think, or at least for me, I think I can give everybody an opportunity to say you can do something different, right? So that even includes Blueface. Blueface can do something different. He can decide to stop doing the things that he's doing. Unfortunately, that is not his decision right now. He, unfortunately, he is sticking his foot in what he's doing right now. Like he is digging his foot into the ground on what he's doing and how he's conducting his life right now. And so I think that that is what alarms some of Chrisean Rock fans, the ones or champions, I'm gonna say, because I'm a champion of hers. I'm not a fan. I don't know nothing about no music she does. I barely watch baddies. I saw some clips, but I am a champion for her to do well. I'm a champion for anybody who want to do well. So if I seen Blueface doing better, I would champion him on. Part of the reason why I have criticisms of Carlissa is because I feel like she just does this the wrong way. And I am going to speak on her part in this in a minute that I think also alarms people, right? But I I know that he could. He has the opportunity. He has the ability to stop thinking that this is the only way for him to stay in the spotlight. Is what he's doing right now, right? But this is what he's choosing to do. And so I think this is diametrically opposed to what people see Chrisean trying to do and the way that they see her trying to rebrand herself. And I think that what most of the people looking at the situation feel is that some kind of way he's going to try to find a way to drag her back in. Now, on my thumbnail, I selected that picture for a reason. I selected that picture on purpose. because that picture in my thumbnail remind me of another predatory picture that was on the album cover. And I'm just sorry, I just gotta say it. It reminds me, that picture with Chrisean and Blueface, and the way that he is up in the corner like that with his hands up like that. It reminds me of another predatory. Hey, Just Be. It reminds me of another predatory album cover picture. And I think that when I saw that, and that was why I made that my thumbnail. I think that not that specific scenario, because they're beyond that scenario, but I think that is what people are concerned about, is that the steps that she's trying to take in order to try to learn how to be a proper parent, in order for her to try to learn how to make money without doing things that would damage her character and reputation. All of these things, and Just Be, don't start, because she is doing that. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. She is trying to figure out another way. You said call R. Kelly out. We not scared. Don't that picture remind you of that? Don't the picture on my thumbnail remind y'all of that? That's what that reminds me of. And I'm just concerned that with the direction that you said you wasn't about to say anything, okay? I am concerned with where she's trying to, or the intention that she's trying to go about moving her life into, that because Blueface has no intentions on doing that. To me, it seems like that he is trying to, at any cost, trying to find some way to drag her and anybody else into that circus, back into that situation. And I think that something in her mind, because I listened to the Dancer Project interview, and there are things that she said in the interview that I absolutely agree with. The thing I think I don't agree with is the timing. The timing, I think, that she didn't talk. You said he just gave up on music, huh? I don't know what he's making, that little Charlie Brown and the Peanut Gallery music, Ty. I don't know what this music is. I only knew one song of his to begin with anyway, and that was Tatiana. I don't. You said I'll give her a little credit for trying to be more positive and spiritual, but until I believe that she's helping the baby with his disability, she's no good. Well, this is the thing. So, Just V, I want to say this. I think that somewhere in her thinking, the step that she just made possibly is making her think that it's in the baby's interest. And you said a one hit wonder, yeah, because that's the only one I know. I don't know no other song, Blueface song. And then the little one he just made where he got Hazel E in the, I don't even know that song. I just know Hazel E was in the video to the song that he just made, and the shit sound dumb. The shit sound dumb. It's not even nothing I want to even waste my time trying to look up or search up to try to listen to the lyrics to. I had enough of it from when they was playing it in the little clips, and I get tired of hearing the people repeat that when he be saying "I'ma get you" or some shit he be saying in the song. It is annoying. It is annoying. It is immature. You say he can't stay on beat. I think, you want to know what, Ty? I think that is like a new thing that they are doing, because if you notice, Young Miami don't either. Young Miami has but I think that is something that is like a staple that they do. So I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to be happening. It sounds like they stay off beat, because Young Miami does that, and you're right, he does too. But I'm wondering if that's supposed to be something about the presentation, that it's supposed to really happen. I don't know, but I noticed it. Like I said, Young Miami does it, but you said Miami also isn't a Just me. Listen, I'm trying to help the boy out and let Todd know that this just might be a musical arrangement that is popular right now, okay? You always got to come and then just Debbie Downer, do a Debbie Downer on the party. I am trying to maybe say, okay, this is just maybe another way that these producers are doing these musical arrangements where the people sound offbeat. And I just tried to give another example. I did not ask you to talk down on the city girl. The city girl is upset right now because she said that the culture abandoned her. She don't need any more criticism. We need to find a way. We got to get her some mental health help too. She needs to talk to somebody because she feels like the culture just threw her away. Okay. So I was just trying to give another example. You said that's what happens to the city girls. So I so I think that some of the things that she said in the Dance Up Project interview that she just did, she's not. It can JT absolutely can rap. Yes, yes. Whether she's on or off beat, she can rap. And sometimes I think sometimes JT does that offbeat thing every now and then because it is a Young Miami thing. But whether she's on or off, most of the time she's on beat. But when she's off beat, she still can rap at the end of the day. I absolutely, if I have to choose between JT and Young Miami, I definitely go with JT all day, every day. Shit, if I had to choose between JT and Cardi, I go with JT all day, every day. I I don't. Cardi is in a way I don't now I'm not giving her the same status, but I'm gonna say this. To me, Cardi is like the Mary J. Blige in rap. It's just her music, certain parts of her music resonate with people, right? Because of the experience that the music provides. And I think that's what makes her popular, right? When I think Mary J. Blige had the same thing because I vocally, I don't mean no harm, but um our girl Shaka Khan was right. Like Mary, I like Murray's rendition, the sweet thing, but I can see where the original artist might have an issue with a artist that is vocally challenged like Mary J. singing her song, right? But Mary J. I think Mary resonated with the people because her music resonates with people, right? And her style of performance and all of that stuff resonates, and so that's what made her what she is. I definitely think Faith Evans was a way better vocalist, than her. So I mean, but and so I look at Cardi that way. But if I had to choose between Cardi and JT as far as skill, I'm definitely going with JT. And so for me, it was a no-brainer that I'm definitely a Nicki Minaj person until she went up there with that motherfucking Donald Trump. And I can't even speak it anymore. It's like I'm mourning. I am mourning the loss. That's all that is, right? I had to mourn. Once she went up there with Trump, I just had to mourn the loss of what Nicki Minaj was, right? I think that was like the final straw because it was so much stuff she was doing leading up to that. But when she made that last stop, I had to just say, okay, it's time for me to go into mourning on this one, right? Let me see. Let me see what y'all said. You said she's not. You said they broke up. Ty Carisha thought she was too big for the program. When exactly, absolutely. And look, JT, when Carisha was up at that award show holding that goddamn sign up, JT tried to tell Carisha, sit your ass down, girl. He didn't even acknowledge you in the damn at the damn award show. He had you perform with him a record from off the Love album while he's talking about Cassie and Kim Porter. I mean, come on, JT was trying to get a hold of her then. She did not want to listen. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's why you got abandoned, Carisha. You thought she was bigger than the program. Tell them what I talk about the culture. Shit. You said just she wanted to take the finishes to Diddy. Exactly. Murray may not be the most vocal, but she's good. Kind of like yes, Just V. It doesn't matter how well you sing if people don't want your exactly. That's the point I'm making. And so they sell the music. It's something about them that they do well enough vocally to sell the music. But would I say they are the best vocalists? No. You know, I mean, you look at somebody like a Jasmine Sullivan. Jasmine Sullivan should, if you're talking about a vocals, Jasmine Sullivan should be way far. India Arie, you know, these are all people that to me are better vocalists than Beyonce. But Beyonce sells. You know, she sells. And I hate it, but sex sells. And so when somebody is looked at as a sex symbol, as long as they can do the bare minimum, I think that's what Diddy thought he was trying to do with Cassie. It just did not work. We got to say this, just me. It sometimes it does matter, okay? But I don't think Casey had stage presence. And I think that's where it was an epic fail. I think in Diddy's mind, he thought, okay, she can kind of do okay. She can hum a little tune. You know what I'm saying? She definitely has a appeal, a sex appeal, right? But Casey does not have stage presence. She's a good model. She wears nice gowns. Right? But she does not have that stage presence that was going to take her to the level of a pop star. But in Diddy's mind, I think that's what he imagined. And I think because he thinks that he has created so many creatives who have been able to do well, that he thought that he could take her and do that same thing. To me, I don't care how much work she did on her music. I don't think she was going to make it to no kind of level. You said I was shocked to hear that Cassie was still recording. Exactly, in the trial, right? Just be like, he was just letting her do that. See, that's where I said that's where the motive really was. Like, that is where the prosecution should have probably really like trying to hone in this case, in order to try to, maybe the people would have really saw the prosecution's case if the prosecution would have said, listen, this girl cannot sing. So the fact that he had her in the studio was a form of manipulation. That was the manipulation. That was the coercive tactic. He he purchased her for his sexual needs, knowing that this girl couldn't sing. That should have been the opening statements. If I had been the prosecutor, if I had been on the team, that's what I would have recommended that the opening statements open up with. Diddy recruited this girl who he knew who could not sing, and he purchased her and paid the highest price for her in order to turn her into his sex slave. That's what I would have opened with. That's what I would have opened with. You said she did have a bop or two, but that's why I told you that Diddy knowing was hot. Is exactly, that's what I'm saying. And so he knew that Mary J was vocally talented, and look at what he was able to do with Mary J. And so, but like I said, Mary J's music is an experience. When she's doing what she does, she sells it. She has some presence. Now, I don't know what's going on with Mari now, sitting up in that baby shower chair, drinking that smart water. She think that that's going to fly with this Vegas residency. Them people are asking for their money back. They want their money back. They say that they did not come to see a Mary J. Blige with her leg thrown over the armrest of a baby shower chair, drinking no smart water, and don't know the lyrics. They zoomed in to her while she's supposed to be singing the lyrics to her own song. She don't know. I don't know. I pray to God that nothing health wise is going on with Mary, but I hope Mary ain't back on that stuff in order to try to make it through this residency. I don't know what is going on. If she's back on that stuff trying to make it through the residency, it's not helping you make it, Mary. It's not helping you make it. It's not. Let's see. You said I mean, J-Lo is still out here. Exactly. Because that thing can't sing either. Oh, my God, she can't sing. Now, I'm going to tell you, she's a better actress than Beyonce. I'm going to say that. The movies that J-Lo has done, they have better acting abilities than Beyonce. Right? I think that might have been her lane. Just like, oh, yo, I am high. I don't know what is going on. Just like I think that that might have been her lane. Oh, I know what's going on. Hold on. Okay. I think that might be her lane, movie making, right? Because I like Made in Manhattan. I liked enough. You know what I'm saying? I think J-Lo did good in those movies, right? Beyonce was struggling on that Dreamgirls though, y'all. She was struggling, and especially up next to Jennifer Hudson. She did not expect that Jennifer Hudson was going to outshine her in that movie. And Simon Cowell, he had to eat his words. He had to eat his own vomit because Jennifer Hudson let it go in Dreamgirls. Okay, Beyonce just knew she was walking away from that performance with an Oscar, baby. Not one. Not one. She didn't get not one. Beyonce, stay on the stage. Create your scenes on the music stage, right? Do that. Cause y'all, what was that movie Beyonce was in with Idris Elba? I did like that one. Cause I ain't like her in Cadillac Rockets either. Playing Etta James. And you know, Etta, she was mad. Etta James was mad that they got Beyonce. Just like Shaka was mad about Mari with that sweet thing. Etta James was mad that Beyonce was playing her in that Cadillac Records. Wait a minute, you said that's what R. Kelly. Exactly. Just me knowing she can't sing. That's what I'm saying. That should have been the opening statements. Like when you have a formula, stick to the formula that works. The opening statement should have said he went and got this beautiful young model who already was off on her way to a thriving modeling career. And he decided that when he saw her with Ron Leslie or Brian Leslie or whatever the hell the goddamn man is, because he was able to make her a one-hit track that stuck to people, right? He thought that he could take her and he was gonna it was really about he wanted to make her into a sex slave. He knew she couldn't sing, but he thought that he could try to make her think she could sing. That he had her playing in the studio. She was playing in the studio. And I would have been like, and that is why when he found out that she was dealing with, I would have tied it all in. That is why when he found out that she was dealing with Kid Cudi, he wanted all his money back. Because he knew he was wasting his money putting her in the studio. He knew that was a waste of time. He knew that career wasn't going nowhere. And then he used her and put her in that studio and didn't allow her to get certain modeling gigs where she would have been thriving in. He just wanted her to play around in that studio, knowing that she was never going to be successful in that studio. That's how I would have. You said, Joy, go home. Not to sing, just go. Exactly. Murray can't dance worth not a goddamn. You said, I'm starting to work. I am too. Because, Just V, I don't know if the situation with Mary is a medical one, which I would be overly concerned about. Or if the situation is that she is back on that stuff again. Yeah, and Kendu is wrong. Kendu got Murray taking care of him, the mammy, when the children were still young, the children. Ain't none of that stuff belong to Murray. None of it. Like, I didn't see a judge. I can't take away from the part, I guess, about the spousal support, because when it's a man and a woman, it's allowed. And so we would be biased if we didn't say, okay, well, maybe some spousal support, but this nigga was cheating. Murray, I don't know what kind of lawyers Murray had, but some of the people say that the cheating wasn't like actually cheating because Murray was agreeing and was part of it too. But at some point, they say that Murray wasn't okay with whatever was happening and he continued to do it. So just like they said, you know how they try to make a difference between when the women is consenting and then when they decide not to consent no more, right? Like what happens? Like, I think this is one of those situations. Like, Mary at one point might have been okay with whatever they had going on with the open marriage or whatever, but once she wanted to stop, I think it was his duty that he needed to stop, especially since she was the one with the most money, because since they think, the shot caller is the one with the most money, right? So since she was the one with the most money, he should have had to stop, like, once she was ready for him to stop, but instead he kept going. So I don't know what them lawyers that Mary J did. they needed to be able to create the distinction between the time that Mary J was consenting to that kind of relationship, and then the time that she didn't want that kind of relationship going on no more. And at that point, that's when he should have stopped. And that's the type of he should have been charged for that amount of infidelity. Whatever amount of infidelity that was after she wanted him to stop doing, they would stop doing that couple thing or whatever. He should have been responsible for that, and then that should have been deducted from the alimony payments, right? But I don't know that taking care of somebody's mama. Where is this judge? Where was this ruling at? Taking care of children who are not your biological kids, where it's no way possible. These men be complaining about the fact that these women be putting them into a trick bag with these kids, telling them that the kids belong to them, and then because the men ain't taking care of the kids because they originally think the kids belong to them, and then it take them 15 years for them to be found because now they got arrears and they done got picked up by the police, and then they go to the courthouse because they got to get a paternity test because they still trying not to pay the arrears child support, and then they find out that the child ain't theirs. These men come up out that courtroom mad, blasting, putting it all over social media, talking all types of shit about the lady. But here in this situation, we got a woman who was forced to pay money for some children who they know wasn't hers. But having a woman paying some alimony for somebody else's mammy who they know ain't her mammy, ain't nowhere on her birth certificate. Where is this at? Where are the people to speak up for that? We need to go rally about that, because first of all, we need to check and see if Mary can get some FMLA on that Las Vegas residency, because clearly she needs some time off already. And so I don't know if FMLA is allowed in the Las Vegas residency, but we need to find out. And then while that's happening, we need to organize some rallies and some marches in order to find out where is this judge. We need to go to that courthouse over there. They made this ruling. We need to demand to see that judge. They made this ruling on Mary, and not only do we need them to overturn the order, but we need them to give her fucking money back. This was injustice. This is we need to appeal this decision. Where the papers at? Where the paperwork at? So we can write up this appeal. We need to get an appeal on this decision for her to have to pay this damn money. You said Beyonce can get an Oscar for original. Exactly. That's it, Just B. And what's sad about Kendu is that Murray gave him so much credit for helping her get exactly to a healthy and respectable place when she was on Oprah. Exactly. You said women, wait a minute, women have to stop making their mates their managers or anything else. Love is love. Work is, well, she's making the same mistake, because I think they say that the person that she is dating now is somebody that's her man. I don't know if they said the manager or the bodyguard. I don't know which one. I don't know if he's the manager or Kevin Costner, girl. So let me take that back. I gotta go look. But he's employed by her some kind of way. The man that she's supposedly dating is employed by her some kind of way. And that's why when Misa and her was in that dispute over that situation with Vado with the contract, because Murray was trying to do that record label or whatever, they said that something was going on with that man that she's dating, the bodyguard or the manager or something, because he had some kind of interest in that contract as well. And they said that he's the person that it caused whatever that tension to stir up, because they are claiming that he was the one who was in Murray's ear trying to tell her that she needed to do all of this stuff in order to separate herself. You know, that's what was said. Hold on. You said I tried to rally for Murray's coin when this happened, but people on Twitter are not about action. Well, listen, hey Pat, how you doing, boo? Listen, well, you got a team now. We need to go storm and march over to that goddamn courthouse. We need to demand to see that judge. We need the paperwork appeal. We need to know where is the pardon process so that Donald Trump can go do something about this. Is it a pardon we can give Mary for this goddamn spousal support and this money that she paying to take care of somebody else's mama? And we need all of the money back that they made her to pay on them damn children, because them children ain't hers, and they knew that from the start. They knew it from the start. Mary J. Blige is not on them children birth certificate. You said, Lord, I hope he's just the bodyguard. That's okay. He just can't have a power play. Well, Just V, they said that he had something to do with the dispute between Misa and her. So to me, that sounds like somebody who thinks they are a business partner or something, not just being Kevin Costner. He's not just a hired help. Now, I could be wrong. I know the man had one of those positions, and maybe he started off at one and then graduated into the other. I gotta double check. But they said that they felt like he was the one in Murray's ear girl. Pep, you said what was Murray's defense team on? I asked long ago how does something like that happen? Right. Like what in the world? Like how do you what this just wasn't right. This was not right to women across America. Okay? I ain't see nobody coming forward and saying free Mary J. Blige. Nobody. Like she should not be required, and she should be able to get compensated and get all her money back. As a matter of fact, I want Kendu and his mama in jail. I want them in jail. Because I'm telling you, they probably told that judge they was gonna pay them some money off. Listen, you give us this money, we gonna make sure you get your cut. We gonna make sure, cause that was injustice to Murray. That was an injustice. Ain't no way Murray should have been, and still to this day, and that's why she's up in that baby shower chair, tired as hell. This is impacting her ability to work. Look, she cannot even perform on this residency. It started off with the tired ass dancing, and this the thing. We can't say Murray couldn't dance, y'all, because Murray was dancing in Real Love now. Back in the day, Murray used to be busting the move, okay? Just V, I gotta, because I was agreeing with you, but I gotta take it back. Murray used to dance back in the day. Murray used to have that choreography together back in the day. She had, what's our girl, that used to work with Diddy? I cannot think of her name. Lorianne. Lorianne started off with Mary J. Lorianne had Mary busting the move. Okay? Mary was that thing. She was that girl. Okay? With the dance moves. We had watched over time. We want KC to be sanctioned. We need Kendu up in here. We need Kendu Mama up in here. We need all of them to be responsible for what has happened to Mary. And we have video evidence of the decline since them two niggas. As a result of Mary having taken all them drugs, KC was pumping all off to her, and Diddy, he was pumping drugs to her too. I don't know why she wasn't part of this RICO case. Diddy and KC pumping drugs to her, and she couldn't even make it to the unplug with Jay-Z. See, this is another Jay-Z conspiracies. I told you they always want to throw Jay-Z in something. She couldn't even go see. Now we got to deal with Jaguar Wright. Now we got to deal with hearing Jaguar writing all of these goddamn lies because Mary J couldn't even show up to that unplugged performance to sing Song Cry, and now Mary J thinks she's responsible for Jaguar Wright go around this internet thinking she's responsible for Jay-Z's whole entire career from her singing at one time is a fill-in for Song Cry. This is what the culture has had to deal with as a result of what was done to Mary. We gotta get something going. We need everything we need. We need the habeas. Can you do a habeas in civil court? We need a habeas. We need an appeal. We need the pardon paperwork. We need all of that for Mary J. We need to get all of that going simultaneously. Right? You said, wait a minute. You said let's stop talking about Murray's dance. I like a little thigh high. Okay, Ty. Yeah, Ty. Well, then I was agreeing with you, but I gotta take that back because Lorianne back in the day had our girl. Listen, the choreography was on point. Mary had it on. She had it going on. That's why she asked, "What's the 411, huh?" You got it going on. She had it going on back then, right? With the choreography. We have just watched. This is over time from KC to Kendu. This is what we have gotten. You said, wait a minute, why are you trying to get married in the RICO? No, I'm trying to get the people who is responsible for what happened to Murray in the RICO. And I want her, she needed to be a victim. Murray needed to be a victim too in that RICO case with Diddy. She needed to be another victim. He got her all high up, got her hooked up with you said a two-step in the cake. He got her all high up, got her hooked up with that goddamn KC, knowing damn well KC was not KC did wrong how he did Murray. That started the whole thing. That started the whole thing. And then Ken Dude brought his Jarvis Butts predator ass up into the equation because that's them same predatory tactics that Jarvis Butts got. That's what Ken Dude did to Murray. He knew Murray was vulnerable and susceptible in order to be with somebody who they made it look like loved them. Right, and that's why she opened herself up to Kendi. He went in there with them Jarvis Butts manipulative tactics, and that's how he got to marry. And I think that this was all conspired and arranged by Sean P. Diddy Combs in order for him to keep extracting and stealing money from her. Then he done implicated her in his crimes. When Kendu leave, he let her come stay on his couch at his house, and he in there beating up Cassie. I know Murray didn't seen that. I know Murray. I told y'all, I already had a conspiracy, y'all, that I felt like that Murray J sent some of that stuff over to 50 Cent, y'all. I feel like Murray J sent some of that stuff over to 50 Cent. Now, some of the stuff 50 Cent got because Diddy was too dumb. He was with his bad business practices, like he always do, not paying the people for the footage, did not realizing when you don't pay the people for the footage, then they own the footage. And that's how he got his ass into this bullshit. But I think some of that other underground, see, they think it was Daphne Joy. I don't think it was Daphne Joy that sent nothing over to no damn 50 Cent. She can't stand his ass just as much as Diddy can't stand his ass. I think it was Mary J. And I think the clue was that he made her one of the pivotal characters in the series Power when he created Monet with Lil Tyree. Okay, I think that is when we knew that Mary J was giving some intel to 50 Cent about P. Diddy. I think that the video that 50 Cent talk about he got or whatever, I think that was Murray. Cause Diddy had Murray sleeping up on his couch. All that money Murray made for him, you ain't do what you needed to do to help her get somewhere. She's sleeping up on your couch. We had to wait for 50 Cent to jump and swoop in and give her a lead role and be Lil Tyreek's supplier, and then she was able to take off. You said, oh, you put Murray in all kinds of stuff today. You should. I am on her side because this is all coerced. She was coerced into all of this. She was coerced into all of these things. She wasn't doing these things in no right frame of mind. Diddy gave these women so much drugs their brains was altered and messed up. Fucked up. Now we got him at the center of a civil dispute with Keefy D. He right there was an unnamed person. He's going to turn to a named person real quick. So he didn't just went all over this entire United States just creating bullshit for everyone. You said Ghost is still mad that Murray was paid more than him. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, people be getting mad at 50 because of what he do. And sometimes I'll be like, all right, yeah, 50, you're doing a little bit too much. But honestly, you got to look at the things that 50 does to help the people that some people leave behind for nothing. Shit, I think Tommy might have been getting paid more than Ghost. I think, because listen, we love Jamie. We love Jamie St. Patrick. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to that series, Monet and her storyline and Tommy, they was the shit, in my opinion. Now, I haven't been able, and then what's the new one, this Raising Kanan, the one that played Kanan Mama, that's another one. That's another star, he skyrocketed. Pump you said again, choice. How bad does the woman want fame? There will always be the moment to cash out. Listen, I think that when Mary thought that she got what Ken do, I think she thought that that was it. That's why I think he was sent in by Diddy to take her right back to the same place, so that she be right back in the place that he need her to be, in order for her to try to take some more money for her. 50 saw the play, and 50 swooped in, and he came to the rescue. I don't care. I don't care what they say about 50. I be seeing it. I see he do too much. He do a little. You said Ghost said he built power, but he doesn't understand that people kept watching after he. Exactly. So it wasn't because Lil Tyreek is a good ass actor now. Lil Tyreek is a good actor, and he was carrying his, and Tommy too. Now I'm trying to think, was there any other spin? And Raising Kanan. Like I said, that was good writing. That was a good show. Um, I don't know why he don't realize that all of the supporting roles did equal, if not better, job than him. There were times in that series that people loved Tommy's character more than they loved Ghost. So I don't know. I guess he thought that some kind of way they was gonna keep begging for him to come back or whatever. And then I know he also said that he felt like he was getting typecast too, Just B. So he was saying that it was kind of difficult for him to try to get other kinds of roles, because now that he had played in this type of role and they felt like he did such a good job that it's the same thing that the actor from The Godfather. I got the name on the tip of my tongue right now, and I can't think of it. He was saying he had the same problem. And then you had Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray said, now Just V, don't start no shit, okay, with me saying Lisa Ray. Don't start no shit, okay? Lisa Ray said she was having the same problem. After she did Players Club, she just kept getting typecast for these specific type of roles, and she couldn't expand her portfolio because she took that kind of role. So that's what Ghost was saying. Jamie St. Patrick. He was saying, what's his name again? I stay forgetting his name. I can't be keeping all of these names in a row. He said that he was getting typecast. But I'm gonna tell you what I think what role typecast his ass. Because I'm gonna tell you, I ain't like his ass. I did not like his ass until he started playing Ghost. And it took me to the second season of Power in order to watch. And because I didn't like his ass. And I'm gonna tell you why I didn't like his ass. I did not like his ass because of that goddamn man that he played up in For Color Girls and Janet Jackson's husband. That did it for me. I was just like when Blair Underwood played that role when he took that little white girl when he was in that movie. Was it with Sean Connery? He was in that movie with, what's the name of that damn movie he was in? Blair Underwood. I got mad at Blair Underwood, and then it seemed like every role Blair Underwood was playing after that. We didn't go all subject, y'all. We supposed to be talking about Chrisean and Blueface. We didn't go all off the subject, but it's okay. It's okay. But whatever, I cannot remember what in the heck is that name of that movie where Blair Underwood was making it seem like he ain't take that little white girl, and he did take that little white girl. Um, you said I knew you was about to say something, just because you cannot help it. I'm just giving an example of what the people said. Now I didn't give an assessment on if I said I thought she was a good actress. She wears white well. She wears white well, and she does good interviews. She does, and she finds good rich men. That's what she does good. I never commented on the acting. I just said that that's how she felt. Just like I said, Young Miami said she felt that the culture abandoned her. I didn't say I agree. I gave you a disclaimer. You said, but I love some Lisa Ray, and she still, yes, I love her. Yeah, she does all the other things well, all the other things. But yeah, the acting skills I can't go with. But what is that movie, y'all, that Blair Underwood played where he supposedly took that? Is it Sean Connery that was in that movie in that movie? When I did not like him after that. And the same thing was with Ghost. I did not like him from when he played in that damn movie with Janet Jackson and was getting his phallus sucked up in that car by a male prostitute, and then flirting with the men inside of the opera in front of Janet's face, and then at the end we find out that he didn't gave her AIDS. I couldn't stand that man after that. Listen, I be like my granny, y'all, because my granny, I told you, my granny, I used to watch the story from the time I can remember 5 years old. I was probably watching the stories longer than that. If one of those characters from the stories go from one channel to the other, or one soap opera to the other, and whether they play the same character or not, when they get onto the other channel and they start doing certain stuff, my granny be like, see, I told you he was something, because he was something over there on Young and the Restless. Because, see, granny be flipping through the channel. She be watching Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, God Light is off now, but at the time, Loving, and then As the World Turns, she be flipping all through with all of that, right? And so she be knowing what's going on with all the storylines. But sometimes one character will leave one story and then they will come over to the other story, and they might be playing a totally different person. She don't care. She still takes that person's character with them over to the other channel. And when she starts to see some behavior that she be like, see, I knew it. I knew they was about to be something, because they was something over there. I'll be like, Granny, that's not even the same character. It's a different person. I knew it. I still knew it. And so I start doing that when I watch stuff, right? I'm taking one person from what they played, the character in one thing, and then they go. And so I guess that's the typecast. I guess that's what these people mean when they say they get typecast. When you, just like, what is it? What is Powell? What's his first name? He get the same thing. Remember when he played the TD Jakes Woman Out All Loose with Loretta Devine? Wasn't Loretta Devine in that? And then Kimberly Elise, wasn't they in there? And when they found out that he was like he always get them roles too, them scumbag roles like that. So maybe this is what they mean when they saying they getting typecast. You said, I'm going to watch For Color Girls tonight. I barely remember the movie. Yeah, listen, that movie was traumatic. Let me tell you, two movies that my mother said that she ain't never watching again is For Color Girls, and then that goddamn what was that movie with Taraji? Uh, Acrimony. Acrimony, girl. My mother. Oh, don't mention nothing about For Color Girls and Acrimony to my mother. And it's not because my mother don't feel like the movies was good and the storyline was good. My mother was traumatized watching that. When we was sitting there watching Acrimony, and every time Taraji's bank account was getting lower and lower and lower, my mother was like, "What the hell is?" Y'all, my mother was so pissed off. She was like, it was a good movie, but I ain't never watching that again. I think it was driving her blood pressure up. It was driving her blood pressure up. My mother was like, I ain't never watching. The two movies that my mother said she's never watching again is For Color Girls, and that is to be understandable because it was traumatic. Now, I have gone back and watched it over and over again. My aunt actually played a role as the lady in purple in the stage play rendition of For Color Girls. That's how I knew it way before Tyler Perry ever even took it to be a screenplay. I mean, whatever they called it, whatever him and Oprah was calling it, but the movie, essentially the movie, right? But yeah, I can understand like For Color Girls when my mother says she's not watching that no more. But baby, with that Acrimony, my mother said, she said that if the movie was okay, I ain't watching that no more. Cause I think that thing took her blood pressure up. Every time that bank account took a hit, my mother was appalled. It was like she had to hold her chest. We did not know if it was Fred Sanford up in there. Me and my aunt was looking at her. We could not believe it. I was like, this lady is ridiculous. Why is she getting so upset? It ain't her account. It's just a movie, right? You said I was stressed out watching too. Same with Pursuit of Happiness. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Pursuit of Happiness. What? Yeah. That did have me like that. But that's V. I can understand. Like I said, when it came to For Color Girls and the Pursuit of Happiness, I can understand people feeling like they don't want to watch that again because it was stress. Right, seeing all of the different changes of emotions, your emotions keep fluctuating back and forth like that. But with acrimony, just me. I don't. That's how I was. I'm looking at her and trying to keep my. And I think, look, Ty. I think my mother might be getting mad because I was laughing. I think she might have really been getting mad because I was laughing about it too. Because I'm like, why are you upset? Like you are really upset. This is a movie. It is a movie. It's not your account. It's not her real money. She got paid for this performance. But y'all, that lady was a when we was watching it in the sunroom, right? We was in the sunroom and we was watching it over in the sunroom. And after that movie went off, because generally, we would put something else on because it was a we was having a cookout. So it was we would put something else on. My mother ain't want to watch nothing else. She walked up out that sunroom and went upstairs. She was too done. She was too done. She did not. She was exhausted. He said, "Mom's taking sir." Yeah, like I was like, "What?" I'm like, Mom, don't." She got paid to do this movie. This is not her real bank account, okay? Like it's okay. It is okay. She was like, I'm never that movie was alright, but I ain't never watching that again. I thought she was about to call Tyler Perry up and cuss him out or something. I did not I didn't know what was going on. But y'all, Clifton Powell, yeah, Clifton Powell. He gets um those little scumbagish roles too. If I see him playing in a role that ain't no scumbag type of role, I'll be questioning the movie or whatever. Like what is this? What this is not the type of roles that he play. Like what do you mean you made him a good dad? Like this is not the type of roles that he plays. Cause he is just always something sinister about every character he play. You said that's how I was knowing Murray had to pay for kids money. I needed a nap. Listen, that was real life, just be so I understand that was real life. And right now we are seeing, that Mary is feeling the effects of all of that because she's needing to take a power nap in the middle of her performances. She is tired. Like this has to be some type of form of slave labor. Like I thought the slave system is gone. How do they have this black woman working on the behalf of this black man and his mama? Like this. It is just absolutely ridiculous. She need to get a power nap in the middle of her performance. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, we need to get something done about Murray. But let's try to circle back to my feelings about the Chrisean thing, and then I can get like with y'all opinion. So I think that with Chrisean Rock, when her interview on the Dancer Project, what she expressed was that she wanted to get some closure for herself on the situation. That she felt like um she was questioning herself whether or not she was being evil by keeping the baby away from him and his other side of the family based on some of the things that was going on. And she said that she was trying to put herself in his shoes, right? Although I think that's impossible. I think that is impossible for her to do. But she said that she was trying to think from his perspective and what might make him react like that. Even though she didn't understand it, she was trying to put herself in his place and try to figure out what would make him act out that way. And so she started to examine herself and say, am I being wrong by keeping the baby from him? And so she said that she decided that rather than to have a phone conversation, which always ends up in like hostilities or text messages. Now these are my words. She's not saying this. I'm just summarizing, okay? So rather than having a phone conversation that results or text messages, the result in hostility in the end. She thought, I guess maybe if she showed up at his performance as a peace offering to say, listen, I'm not against you. I'm not here to harm you or to hurt you. I had to take some time and step away because I had to get my mental health right in order for me to be able to do the proper things for our son. And what you were doing and how you were living and how you were presenting yourself and how you're still presenting yourself was not healthy for me in that moment. I had to get all of that residue off of me, right? And then come back and revisit the situation. And so what I kind of see going forward, but could end up going back. I think that in Chrisean's mind, what she's saying, I think because she asked Danza, because Danza basically was like, Chrisean, I just think it was too soon. I think it was too soon. I think that you gave him access too soon, especially after making such a public proclamation again on the Jason Lee interview, that you needed to be more stern with him and say you can't just do that. And then Danza mentioned to her about as loud as he was about the statements that he made is as loud as he needed to be about the apology. And I know that there are a lot of people who do agree with that. But I know that there are some people who they don't need that. They don't need that public apology. Now, I feel like maybe he does need to publicly come back, and because we know how he does. And this is the problem. This is the issue problem I see with what's happening. I think that the things that she's saying is right. I think that she is good intention. Right? Hey, Tiz. But I don't think he is. And so I think that her way of thinking would work with somebody who was trying to make changes and adjustments in their life to be on a more yeah, I didn't watch her live, but I watched the Danza Project interview. She did an interview with Danza, and I watched that, and that's what I'm talking about. I gotta go back and watch her actual live. But I feel like that her idea and her concept of what she sees moving forward is, I think, the right way to do it. He's not there. He is still in this place where he's trying to figure out how to exploit any and every situation he can. It's like, to me, I feel like that Blueface is on this mission to make all of the women that he allows into the circus look as horrible as possible. And I don't think that she's an exception. I don't think that she's an exception to that. And so I think that in a situation, in a co-parenting situation, she has the right ideas. I don't think it works because of this person that's involved. And then I don't think it works because of his mother, right? Because y'all know I have said before that I feel like that no matter what people want to say about Carlissa, right? Carlissa is good with those grandkids. She really is. She loves those grandkids. She's good with them. She supports them in all the things that she takes great care of them, making sure that, okay, y'all already heard me. Journey bad as hell. All of that damn cursing she do that back and forth with Blueface and Jaden, but when she's with Carlissa, that's where she has the best chemistry. That's where she's more like a child. And I do think, and Blueface said this in his interview with Jason Lee. He said, me as a kid, she was a good mom. She was supportive. That's what she said. And he was like, but as an adult, I think that's just because I do think that behind the scenes, Carlissa does chastise Blueface about the things that he does. And I think that is why he has so much tension with her. But the problem I have is that Carlissa thinks she can switch because it's all about the business. When she's switching off, you cannot, because he is using that to his advantage to make you look even worse every time you come out here trying to make some excuses for what he's doing. But I actually think that Carlissa has the resources and abilities to help Chrisean get the right things in place for the baby. I do. And I think that the baby with Carlissa, as much as people I think that Carlissa hates Chrisean, I don't really think that she do. Now I know a lot of people talk about when Chrisean beat the ass and all of that. We understand that. But I really don't think she hates her. I think that she does not like the way that Chrisean feels about her. I think that's what it's really about. You said Blue is evil. His goal will be to break, humiliate her and all. He will act like he is going to get close and tell her that Chrisean will have to stay. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Tiz. That's the problem with what she's thinking. You know, to me, it's not that she doesn't have the right idea of what she's saying, but he is not in that place. You know, I mean, he sent her a text message to tell her, like, God ain't gonna get nothing for you. God can't do nothing for you. Like, he's not in that place. You said, yeah, I don't think she hurts, right? And so I think that out of the whole situation, just like you see how Carlissa is always taking care of Jaden's children, always taking care of Callie's children. If she had the option, she would have Dre's daughter. Carlissa, that's why I say they need to pay Carlissa to stay off the internet and just take care of these kids when they are out doing the things that they're doing. That would be, that's what I think the arrangement should look like. Because she does, it is better for them to be with their grandmother while they got to go on tour, or if they got to go train or do, it is better. Now, Chrisean has a good thing in her corner because she has Tessa there with her. But when Tessa can't, because Tessa does have her own responsibilities and stuff, this is where Chrisean sometimes feels limited in being able to do the thing. That's why Junior is always with her. I think that she now, because at first when Junior was a baby, that's why she was leaving him with her other family members, Tareen and Chastity and all. But then when she got to the point where she realized that then it was getting turned into viral moments, she didn't feel like she could trust anyone. And so then the only one is really kind of Tessa. And so then when Tessa has her own responsibilities that she has to deal with her immediate family, that's when she can't do it. But Carlissa is there. Carlissa can do it. But Carlissa gotta stay off the internet. Chrisean has made it clear she doesn't want negative images being put up anymore, because she's already had so much negativity surrounding her her popularity that she's trying to reshape that and change that. And so she's trying to not, she doesn't, and that's what she was kind of saying to Danza. Like when Danza was saying to her, you say she's on the internet because her job is to help drive numbers. All of these people are responsible for their foolishness. Um, these are adults keeping up all of this drama over a special needs kid. All this back and forth over paternity and everything else. It's not hard to get a legit test and focus on that child's treatment. So I guess they feel like that the test is legitimate, right? They, in the background, just V. This is what I was trying to tell you before. In the background, they know that that test is legitimate, but they keep, like you said, doing all of this for drama for whatever reason. You said right, Jet Blue, because Carlissa isn't saying that stuff no more. Carlissa was saying it, but she's not saying it anymore, and so he is the one that's keeping it going. So what I think Chrisean was trying to achieve is, let's try to stop bringing that to the internet. And that she felt like, I guess, going to go see him in person will be more effective, trying to extend the olive branch. The problem is that no matter what she does, because of her past character, people are going to look at what she does suspect. And I understand that. So I can understand why, just why it's some things you look at skeptical, because of all of the things that she's done in the past, some people are just going to be not believe that what she's doing is genuine. That they're going to believe it's some type of motive, that this is her role right now in the circus. And that's to be expected too. There is going to be that group of people that are going to think that. I think that right now, for those people, no matter what she tries to do, it's going to look disingenuous, right? But it can't stop her from trying to do it, right? And so to me, this is just my opinion. I see somebody trying to figure out how to redirect the image that she created. I feel like she knows she's responsible for the image that she put out there. You said, well, She is a liar. How long ago did she prop that baby up in a playpen too? Um, I don't, like I said, I think we got different perspectives, and like I said, I think that it comes from the fact that I give grace because I'm looking at the upbringing of the individual we're talking about too, and not just um. I'm not just looking at that this is a adult that had the same, was afforded the same things as me. I guess that's what I'm saying. I know that her childhood was very deficient. I know that her childhood was unprotected. I know that her childhood was traumatic, right? And sometimes people come out of that and they come and they do better. But sometimes people come out of that and they don't even know what to do or how to do better. And so I think that what I'm seeing is somebody that's trying to figure out how to do better. That's what I'm looking at. Somebody that's trying to navigate and figure out how to do better. And she's trying to do this in front of the whole world of people who are skeptical because of the past image that she's created for herself. That's how I feel. I wouldn't expect some people not to be skeptical. Um, you said to pretend that he can stand up. Wasn't that like a 2 or 3 month? But okay, Just B, let me say this. She wasn't trying to pretend that he could stand up. There are videos with the baby with Tareen where he is pulling up and standing up. And Tareen is not doing, and this was before that whole thing came. So there are videos where Chrisean Jesus was with Tareen and he's doing the same thing. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess maybe to some people, they might think that they taking it is that's what she's doing because they already have that image in their mind that she's trying to be deceptive in that way. But the baby had been doing that, which where he was doing in that video. It's video of him doing it. You said I'll believe it when it's been more than 6 months, but I feel like she is focusing on herself now in a positive way. Hopefully she keeps boundaries up. Um because women get tired of bullshit after so long. Regardless of the upbringing, she propped that baby up. She read the comments about how far apart his legs were. So she propped him up and the next day with his legs together. Listen, I don't know what it's like to be under the level of scrutiny that girl is under with the lack of raising, with the lack of raising, right? So that's what I'm saying that I'm giving some concessions to. She ain't never been a mother before. She didn't have a good mother. Um she didn't have somebody to teach her all of the right things and probably prop her own legs up. And then I didn't have to raise my kids in front of the world. So that's all I'm saying is that I think that anything that she does is going to be judged by some people that way, and that's just how they feel. I just don't feel that way. I look at it a different way. And I think she asked Danza a very important question, I think. She asked Danza, she said, so what is expected of me to do? Like, do people think I should go through the court? Do they think I should take that route? And for me, for me, if I'm honest, if I'm honest, at this juncture, if you feel like that you want to move towards trying to establish something where you are allowing the other parent who is Blueface to have access to your child at this point, based on all of what's happened, I think that yes, that is absolutely the answer. And I know it is a lot of people who would disagree. I know there are a lot of people who would disagree with me saying that to going through the courts would be the answer in this situation. I, however, believe that in this type of situation, because the person that you are attempting to co-parent with is not on the wavelength, I think that you, the baby, and even him all need the protections of the court. I don't know why people think that dealing with the courts is a negative thing all the time. when people come to me and they talk to me, because I have helped a few people, a few male friends of mine deal with custody disputes, trying to deal with custody situations. I actually let them know, like, that court is there to protect everyone. I don't know why everybody always thinks that it's a negative thing. But in this situation, I think that is absolutely the way to go. But that's something that she has to come to the conclusion. And I get the idea that nobody really wants to have to go to the courts to do something that should just be so simple to do. But when a situation is created in a certain way, to me, that's the best option in order to try to keep the drama, as much drama down as possible in the situation. I just, when she asked him that, I so bad wanted him to say, yes, yes, that is exactly what you need to do at this point. But I don't even know if she would have really received it, because right now she thinks that it's something that she can try to manage. She thinks it's manageable and she will be able to deal with it, and that it doesn't need to go to that level or to that extreme. But I don't think that this is an extreme. I think it is a safety measure. I think it is a safety precaution for everybody. Sometimes you need an arbitrator. And sometimes if you can't find somebody personal that you know to be the arbitrator, and there is nobody in this situation that not that I know of, not that's been shown in this circus, that can be the arbitrator, then that's what the courts are there for. That's what they are there for. And I feel like, if you feel like, okay, you might feel some type of way because you're not letting them see the baby, and you like, okay, well, maybe I am wrong because I'm not giving him access to the baby. Y'all go set up something with a mediator with the courts. Y'all get that paternity test through the courts so that he can stop saying that. You go and get the mediation agreement set up, the visitation agreement set up. And then that way, if there is some type of violation, then you can respond based on that, and then people will understand, because you have a arbitrator in the middle that's dealing with the situation. So I feel like, yes, you said let me see, you say you said, do you think the baby is in treatment? Yes, he's receiving physical therapy. That's what she said. Yes, she needs to go to court to set a visitation. He is still right. Exactly. That's how I feel. Shares. And is it what you would want? Is I'm not happily giving that advice. I reluctantly give that advice, because it should not be a situation where two parents have to go to a court in order to parent. But based off of where I see where he is in this process right now, and if she's feeling some type of guilt because she feels like, okay, I'm not where I can deny him access to me, but it's not right for me to deny him access to the child, then that's, to me, that's the best way. That is the best way. You said the way he was moving on the bed the other day seems like exactly. That's what I'm saying. I can tell. I've had a child that was in physical therapy, a child that age. So I can tell from when, before the moment that I noticed that the child needed physical therapy, and then once that physical therapy started, how much improvement happened. Yes, I believe that he's in therapy. I do. That's just based off of my own experience. I raised a child that had tuberous sclerosis, and she needed some early intervention. Now, she did get it much earlier than him, because I noticed the delays earlier than she did. But I could tell the difference from once I started having the physical therapist, the speech therapist, the occupational therapist. When I started having them come in, I could tell the improvement. And based off of what I've seen from him, that's not coming from nothing. That's not coming. He would probably still be in the same type of fragile state if nothing, if no intervention services were in place. You said that video of him turning around and crawling on the bed may be AI. Oh Lord, she posted AI of her son. Okay. Oh Lord, Jasmine, here you go. Here you go. Some of the residue from the R. Kelly section then fell on you. Then fell on you, girl. She said she does the therapy exercises on him and that they learned it in therapy. Yeah, and she takes him out when she goes out in the morning and does it. Yeah, too. Justin, you said I would certainly establish legal paternity in court before I had someone publicly deny my special needs. Yeah, that's how I feel like that's the route. That's the best route. You said a lot of trust in the word of a. This is a lot of trust in the words of a lie. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm not a person who thinks that a person that stays a certain particular way their whole life, or I don't think I know enough personally about her to say she's a liar, right? I know that maybe she's told some lies, but I don't know about the compulsiveness of her lying, right? To label her a liar. And so that's just me. Maybe you seen it, but I can't say that. But I'm also not a person who don't think that a person doesn't have ability to change that at some point too. And there's some people who don't believe people can change. So it would really like kind of depend on your perspective. Um, you said she has posted AI of him before many times. Okay, all right. You said I was looking for some AI fact on the bed, but I didn't see it. Seems real. I pray she has evolved. She looks like she has. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So only time is going to tell. Only time is going to tell in anything. I'm trying. I'm not a supporter of hers. I'm not a fan of hers. I am championing her to do better. The same way I would champion any young woman her age who is starting off in a deficit. She started off deficient, and her start in life was deficient. And so I'm going to champion young people who have had great starts in life, right? They might stumble along the way. So I'm definitely going to give that moral support to someone who I know had came from such a traumatic situation to learn better. Like if she is actually a liar, that is something that she probably learned from where she came from. And so you only, like I said, there are some individuals who can grow up in a terrible situation, but they come out like of it and they do so much better because they don't want to be nothing like the situation they came from. But that is a victory story. It is the same exact way that you can have a person who had no childhood trauma, no experience, and they can go out to be a serial killer, right? The same thing. It's just you both things can happen. Both things can happen, and one of them is tragic. The one who has no childhood trauma and becomes a serial killer, that's tragic. And then the one who grew up in a whole bunch of trauma but made it out and was able to make a better way for themselves, that's a triumph. But most of the people fall somewhere in between. And that's what I'm giving her. And so I'm in champion her to something much better. I see the potential. I can see it in Blueface to do something different than what the fuck he's doing. I don't know what it is that this what he think he gotta do. And then he has a mother who publicly justifies him doing this shit. Again, the other day I heard her do the King David reference, and that just irks my nerve. It irks my fucking nerve when she does it. I cannot stand it. But she continues and continues to, in the public, make excuses and justifications. She make jokes about, oh, it's something wrong with y'all daughters. It ain't nothing wrong with my son. It's something wrong with y'all daughters. She keep trying to put the mantle of God on her son in the public and then trying to downgrade these women. And it's like, no, he's down in the muck just as worse than them. Worse than them. Because he is the ringmaster of all of this. And I think that's the thing that the people miss is they give more accountability to the acts in the circus than they do to the ringmaster. The ringmaster is responsible for how this shit is being conducted. You said she could just keep her baby off of the internet until he can get to a place that she's actually proud of. Okay, so Just V, why don't you write her a letter? Because you listen, I gotta hurry up and get in contact over there with Quinn Emanuel Group about us getting you on that witness list for the Keefe D trial. So you need to go write that goddamn a letter and let her know all of the things that she need to do in order to change her image for the people to believe it. You said Blue is too comfortable. Exactly, he is, Tears. Like he thinks this is the way to go. You can't tell. So he's gonna try to find any way he can to bring everything around him into the chaos. Because the problem is that everybody else around him just joins in it. Even his own mammy. Even his own mammy. So I can't you say she's on notice. Look, y'all, I gotta get right get in here to my appointment. It was good talking to you guys. If when I come out, if I have time, I will come back. I know I gotta get back in because I gotta do some things with work, but I gotta get over here because I gotta do the site thing, and then and I'm supposed to be in there at 12 o'clock. I'm right here, so I don't got to go anywhere. I already drove over here, but I got to get this done. So, Tears, Ty, Just Be, Pat, thank y'all for coming in and talking to me about this today. I appreciate you guys. If you have anything else you want me to come back and talk about later, just let me know. I am going to be looking into some other things. You know, we got some more Jarvis information, all of that kind of stuff going on. So I will check into that and see if I have time to come back and talk to you guys today. But if not, I will be back to talk to you guys again tomorrow, either for Morning Minutes or Lunchtime Live. Y'all have a great rest of your day.